yours.
Yeah, I'm starting. I'm waiting. Starting recording. Hey there, Uncle Chuckie.
Hi
This is
there,
Bob Mulder. How
Brad.
you doing?
I'm
How you doing?
I'm doing
Oh
good.
yes.
Actually, I'm doing evil,
Oh
which is
yes.
better.
Yes, the great, powerful, and evil. Did I
I am
mention
the great,
evil?
wise,
Uncle
and evil
Chuckie.
Uncle Chuckie. Yes.
There you go. Oh geez. Yeah, I tell you, I've been thinking about, and I thought, what the heck? Let's get together and kind of do like I don't know, sort of a chronicle of your life and how you got it, how you got your start in the magic, how you got your start in the radionics and whatever. Just kind of have like a one-stop
Oh,
shop. I know you talked about this a million times. I've heard it a
yes.
million times, but we always got new people here that want to know, okay, who the heck is this Uncle Chuckie, and why is he so infamous? And like I said, I'm going to give people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post the show on my channel also because I got newcomers coming in all the time. They're new to radionics, and I thought, what better way to introduce them to radionics than to hear an interview with you and discuss all the trials and tribulations, how you got started, because it's because of your work that I was able to do my work. I got my start by reading that infamous, again, I love that word infamous, that book called Elementary Psionics. And I'm going to tell you, Chuck, the thing about it is it was a piece of genius, and it was the reason why it was a genius because of its simplicity and to the point. And plus, you're a damn good writer. I don't mean to,
I am
kind
not a
of
good writer. I am a terrible writer.
bullshit. Bullshit. There's a lot of people that always talk. They said the one thing about Chuck is he's a great writer, and
I am
you really
not a
are. And that's
great writer. I am not a great writer. The only thing is, I'm so much better than anybody else in the field.
oh, okay, fair enough. I will take that.
It's not that
I'll
I'm
take
so
it.
good; it's that they can't write for shit. So
Man,
they
but
just love my books
I,
because I'm great by comparison. But
oh yeah. Well, I read that book. The person who recommended it was Joshua P. Warren. He did a webinar about radionics,
yes,
and he said the book I recommend to everybody is Elementary Psionics by Charles Casamano. So immediately after the webinar was over, I get on the internet, and there, I get to your website. Never heard of you before. Didn't know who the heck you were. And I get on your website, and you had all your books there in PDF files for free
mhm.
download. And I just thought, oh, this is just fantastic. I got, read your first book like in a matter of hell, I guess it's 3 or 4 hours. I
Well,
mean, it
yeah,
was
they're
pretty
fast
fast reading.
reads. They're fast
Yeah,
reads.
and what I liked about it was, oh yeah, schematics there for basic machines. The basic, to get people into the, into the ball game, so to speak, and to get them started. And some of your ideas I kind of modified a little bit, but the premise or the actual groundwork for how I got started was because of your books. And I said this many times on the air, and I'm going to say it one more time, Chuck. I want to thank you. Your work has changed my life.
Well, that first book is 40 years old.
Oh man, I don't care
I
if it
started
was.
writing that in 1981.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean that, and again, that was really the thing that got me started here. I think I wrote a couple of your other books after that. You had some plans in there for the D Machine, and
That
a
was
couple other.
psionic warfare. That was psionic
Oh
warfare.
yeah, Psionic Warfare. Yeah, I read that one. That was a really good book too. I mean, just for
Hmm.
yeah, even though there may be some people out there who really don't have any enemies. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure there are people out there who really don't have enemies, so they don't want to get in that part of radionics when it comes to, how should I put it delicately here, justice,
Well,
justice,
here's
and
the thing: if a person doesn't have any enemies,
mhm,
they haven't accomplished much in their life.
mhm,
Because anyone who's accomplished something has got enemies.
yeah, They're all jealous.
Absolutely. Somebody's going to be jealous of you. If there is no worse epitaph than he didn't have an enemy in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, hey, I know for a fact I got enemies. I know you got enemies too.
Oh,
But
I've got
you know, the thing
enemies. Oh,
about
have I got enemies? Yes.
yeah,
Not as
yeah,
not that many. I mean, over the years they tend to die off. But yeah, I
mhm,
have enemies.
yeah. Well, I just think the enemies you have, I think they're the right people to have as enemies. You know, and that's how I feel. And another thing too, have
Well, they
things
certainly have no
you know,
taste.
yeah,
They're my enemies.
okay.
A, they've got a death wish, and B, they have no taste. I mean, that's the thing. And because they have no taste, they have a death wish because they've got no reason for living anyway because they have no taste. You know, they,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And but
oh, I know I come up with them,
but
but
and really, yeah, I know what you mean. But for me personally, I when it comes to taking the Uncle Chuckie point of view concerning certain people, basically I go after pedophiles and people who are harmful to women, for example, and people who are
oh, I
bullies.
don't know. People who are harmful
These
to women, usually the women deserve it.
Oh God.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
let's
You're the
not dump
one.
on our fellow men here.
Yeah. Well, you're the ones gonna have a riot outside your house tomorrow, not me. But
I,
anyway, no,
that's why I got
I
the hand
understand.
resonator.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Oh
mow them
man,
down.
that's
Don't leave a mark on them. Oh my
oh
God.
yeah, yeah. I'm planning on
Okay, we're
building one. I
having
got a
fun.
couple.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I got a couple of ideas for the new model of that one. I've been upgrading all the work that I've done for you in the past. You and I worked together, and I built machines. You basically said, "Okay, Brad, I want to do this, this, and this," and I was the lucky guy that had to sit there and engineer all this stuff to make it basically ergonomic, where it's easy to handle, where
yeah.
it looks halfway decent and all that good stuff, and put all this stuff in one tight little package. But
Well,
yeah, it's
here's the
just
thing.
working together.
A
Hmm.
handheld device, and now I'm being serious. I've been kidding before, but now I'm being serious. It is most important that it cannot be confused with a gun or a weapon of any kind,
Hmm.
because this is something you carry in your hand. You take it out, people may see it. They see a little
Hmm.
box.
Hmm.
You know, it's not a threat. What is it? Who knows? But it's not a threat. They don't
Right.
know it's a threat. That's
Right.
important.
Hmm.
That is absolutely important. I mean, yeah, the ergonomics of a gun are nice, but you can't carry it in public.
Yeah.
Someone will shoot you
Exactly.
for real. I mean, uh,
Yeah. Exactly. And I've used the resonator myself. What I like about it is it's a little black box. It has a infrared LED on the front of it, and for which projects light and is used as basically a carrier wave. Do I understand correctly the theory behind
that's what
that?
it is. That's what that particular device is. Yeah. Now,
Hmm.
here's the thing. Back in the 80s, no, 90s, early 90s, uh, there were a couple authors, Michael G. Smith and Lynn Westhorpe, and they wrote the Crystal Power books for Llewellyn. And they were
Hmm.
friends of mine. We became friends.
Okay.
And he came up with basically, it was a psionic ray gun.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
a crystal thing, it was mounted on a pistol grip, and it looked very nice and science fiction-y. There
Right.
was only one problem. If you were to carry this thing in public, somebody would take a shot at you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, no, you can't do that, Mike. Yes,
Yeah.
it's nice, it's pretty, it's fun, but you can't carry it in your car.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know,
that's
and so um, but he's the guy who
mm-hmm,
invented the crystal wands,
mm-hmm.
and those things really worked. I remember in 1997, the convention, the Books Association convention in Washington. I was at the Llewellyn booth, and they had a number of his style wands there, and they worked. They worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you have to be really careful if you're building a psionic weapon that's gonna be seen. And this is important. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
seen. It
Right.
can't look like a weapon.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I used, for the first generation of the hand resonators. It was basically a little black box, a little bit smaller than a pack of cigarettes, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what.
yeah. The little infrared LED. Yeah,
Right. We had like two or three different models of that, but I think of all of them, I think the one with the LED was the probably the most powerful.
yeah,
That's what I thought. I don't know
yeah.
how
I'm
what your opinion
holding in
is.
my hand. I hold in my hand that particular instrument.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Now you
And
understand. The phrase "I hold in my hand" is very important in Wisconsin because that was the phrase from the great Senator Joe McCarthy.
uh-huh.
And so,
Oh, along with 57 communists. Yeah, you
yes,
got okay.
the man who was right, and people didn't realize it. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible, but we digress. Yeah, but yeah, and again, I find that very interesting. And could you kind of give the audience sort of an overview as to how this thing works? Okay, there's no knobs to it. There's no direct.
It's very simple.
Go ahead.
In the palm of your hand, there's a chakra, minor chakra, but it's there.
Hmm.
There's a pickup coil inside the hand resonator.
Right.
So the energy out of your hand, that will go, several inches normally.
Hmm.
So what happens when you hold the hand resonator? You're bathing that resonator in the energy.
Correct.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, that's picked up by a coil in there. That is amplified and sent into a crystal. And
Hmm.
then from a crystal, in the particular one with the LED, it goes to the carrier wave, which sends
Hmm.
out and hits the target and well, it depends what you're sending. I
Yeah,
will tell
exactly.
you a story. Tell you a story of the hand resonator that
Go
I've never
for it.
told anyone before. When our cat Brunhilde was dying,
Hmm.
and she was sick, she was very sick. She decided she was going to get out, and she would 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 claw at the door, and she would try to climb out the window. She would climb the blinds to the window,
Hmm.
and she's sick. She's not really able to do this. Something out there was calling her.
Okay.
I decided to put a stop to it. And so the last night when she did that, I took my hand resonator, pointed it at, where she was trying to get, pushed the button and said, "You will not have her. Go away." And sent that energy.
Hmm.
And she calmed down. And for the couple few weeks she had left, she never did that again.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, Chuck. And you kind of steered right into something here. I have noticed, maybe it's just me, but I have noticed that radionics, when it comes to radionics, working with animals and animal behavior,
Mm-hmm.
it is very, very easy to do. Have you noticed that
Yes.
yourself? I mean, I was working on one experiment where a couple. They have like 10 acres. It's sort of a farm, horse farm, what have you.
Hmm.
And they were having a coyote infestation. The coyotes are
Oh
kind of like,
dear.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. And so I set a machine for them to get rid of the coyotes. That's all I did. Just turned a few dials for basically the coyotes just to move on somewhere else. Because they have people out there trying to, you know, kill them off and that kind of thing. And you can't do it. It's impossible. Once they establish themselves, uh,
Yeah.
and apparently
And really, I mean, they're just creatures. They're just trying to live. You just want them to live elsewhere.
exactly, exactly. So I went ahead and set up a machine for the coyotes just to move, get out of their hair, wherever they go. I don't care. It's none of my business. And that was over 2.5 weeks ago. But within 2 days of that operation, Chuck, no coyotes,
Hmm.
no howling, no sign of coyotes there, no missing pets, no wildlife found half eaten in the woods, none of that stuff. It's all disappeared. Within 48 hours of that operation, Chuck,
Hmm.
the coyotes disappeared. I mean, I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and they have no, it's not like the coyotes know that we're trying to set up a machine for them. I mean, it's impossible.
No, how
It's
could they know? I mean, but,
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean,
that's
they're
what I
smart,
noticed.
but they're not that smart.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I kid you not. I mean, I even, yesterday I was texting this couple, and I said, "So how's the coyote situation?" They said, "Incredible." I said, "We haven't heard anything, like I said, in over 2 weeks," and they're amazed. And I said, "Well, hey, this is the power of radionics," and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just amazing what you can do with that. I'm looking at it. I was working with somebody with horses, had some issues with show horses, that kind of thing. They have like certain behaviors that they have that basically they get counted against them when they're in the middle of the corral or what have you, and they're being judged and for these horse shows, and it's like within 24 to 48 hours, whatever that behavior was, it disappears. I mean, it's like they're like, we don't know what the hell's going on here. I mean, it's incredible. And a lot of these operations, I mean, they're like 400 miles away from me. I would turn a dial, and again, within 48 hours, they're seeing immediate results. They're seeing results from this operation, and that told me two
Absolutely.
things. Yeah, it told me two things. And the only thing I had to work with, Chuck, and really, it was a picture of the horse, the name, and the location of where the horse was. That was it. That's all the information I had to work with, and plus whatever the issue was they're trying to neutralize. And
Yeah.
again, it's just amazing what these machines can do. And I mean, and you're proving it right there just by using the hand beamer, the hand resonator. We
Yeah.
never, just by doing that and projecting the thought form of, whatever this is trying to lure this cat outside for it to disappear, and you change that cat's behavior instantaneously.
Yeah.
And that's just amazing. I mean, what do you feel? What areas of like the use of radionics do you feel like the easiest ones for you that where you get like immediate results? Is like, there's no waiting time. I mean, it's just like as soon as you do the operation,
Chase
within
it away, an
48.
archangel.
Oh, the very ones that I count on.
I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding. I mean, it's put on the helmet, and I think I used a flashlight in the direction, and boom, there he
Oh
went.
yeah.
He was no more.
Oh, geez. Yeah, like I said, my go-to guy is Michael. I don't know why. You and I are on different. We're. I think we have similar ways of doing things. We just have a different way of doing them, or we deal look at things from a different point of view. I mean,
Yes, I think
you know,
that's true.
yeah. Well, yeah, no joke. But still, it's because all I'm doing is copying what you're doing. I'm just using different entities. That's all.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically the end results that I'm looking for are identical to yours. It's
Hmm.
for whatever it is we're trying to get rid of or neutralize. Uh, that's what we're using the machines for. I mean, basically, you and I, we think the same way when it comes to some of these scumbags of
Yeah, pretty
the.
much. Yeah. I mean, I really have little use for pedophiles.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, I don't like children, but I can't stand pedophiles.
Yeah, I look at it as a scourge. I mean, you talk about sick. I mean, really, just
That's like,
absolute.
and groomers. Groomers are the
Oh,
worst.
oh, geez, yeah, we're getting our fill of that this month, aren't we?
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Hey, it's Pride Month. It's groomers all over the place coming out of the woodwork. But
yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah, it's just incredible. And but
and the thing is, gay people have no more use for them than we do.
there you go. You just said it. I mean, and we're talking about, you know, I, I, I'm like you, Chuck. You know, we have friends who just happen to be gay, and they're just great people. I can trust them with
Absolutely. I mean,
everything.
I
It's
I have
fantastic.
I've had friends who were transsexual.
Yeah, great people.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, it was, I viewed them as kind of unfortunate in some ways because they were kind of ugly. And I'm
Mhm.
sorry that there's no way, but the truth is that, that no, they were good people.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I mean,
It,
and I, this is the thing everybody says. Well, I have some of my best friends, etc. Well, the truth is, people are people.
exactly,
And there are people that are good, and there are people that are bad, and there are people that are a bloody pain in the ass.
exactly.
And the problem is, right now, we have everybody who's a bloody pain in the ass coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, you know, and I got a friend of mine, and he and I we discussed this, and he's gay, and he's basically he's like you and me. He said, "Geez, man, they just need to keep some of this shit to themselves. I mean, you don't do this on a public street in front of kids."
Well, it
And
depends on what they're doing. I
but
mean,
you know, it's the
I
some.
remember in my BDSM days, we did a lot of things that people didn't think should be done in public, and we did.
Well,
I mean,
no
so
doubt.
that's,
Man, just for my own curiosity, I wish you had video of some of that stuff because I would just be sitting there. Either I'd be laughing
I
my
wish we
ass off.
had video of that too, to be honest with you. I think it would be great YouTube. I mean, there really would have.
uh,
Uh,
oh yeah, I'd either be laughing my ass off or I'd be
I mean,
horrified.
when I flashed the Sears Tower, I mean, that was, I mean,
Oh my God.
oh yeah, that was a story. Yeah.
Oh geez. Oh yeah, the wonderful days of Chicago. Oh man. But
Well, it was
no,
the Democrats were having their convention, and we wanted to embarrass them, and this friend had a loft that was literally right across from the Sears Tower. The Sears Tower, you could actually look down into her window,
right.
and she had the drapes open, and we opened the drapes and we gave them a show.
Oh my God.
And they couldn't say anything about it because they would have had to admit they were looking in somebody's windows.
I'm surprised you didn't have any of them walking across the street and knocking on your doors asking if they could join.
Well, now this was even funnier. The Secret Service set up their communications right down the hall from her. Right down, they thought this was so secret. And I went on, and we had Usenet in those days, and I outed the Secret Service. I said, they're in department so and so in such and such a building. Go knock on their door, say how much you appreciate them.
I'm sure they appreciated
Oh,
that.
I'm sure they did. That's how I got on the Secret Services list.
Oh my.
The one list I hadn't made, that was it. Everybody else, why should they be left out?
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh man, I was kind of. Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah, I got one of my friends. I think he made the list too. He was there for J6.
Oh, that, yes. Well, that, remember,
Yeah, yeah.
next January, that's all going to be reversed. The
Oh,
Republicans will
geez.
hold
Hope
Congress,
so.
and they'll knock that, and they will take, they'll basically hit that committee with a baseball bat and chase it out of Congress. If there are any of them Congress
Yeah.
people in that
Oh yeah.
committee still left. So,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
know,
And I'm
they
gonna tell
know
you,
their time
I
is,
think Joe Biden. Yeah.
and so,
And Joe. Yeah, Joe Biden's. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Joe Biden's the greatest ever had.
I
He's
just
done
hope, like,
more
I
for
just hope
us.
they don't impeach Biden, because if they do, and they actually managed to succeed in removing him, which has never happened. Guess what we have in his
Uh-huh.
replace?
The first woman president.
Yeah, Barbie Blowjob.
Oh,
Wonderful.
God.
Absolutely wonderful. That's all we need. Talk about incompetence.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Yeah,
I mean,
and
no,
he's
this
a
is,
smart one between the two.
you know,
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible.
it's
Like I
horrible. I
said,
mean, it's a
uh,
terrible nightmare. Um, Technically, what they
oh,
would
yeah.
have to do is literally
Yeah.
replace the entire administration. And I don't think this
Oh, yeah.
country is set up for that.
Yeah. And here's the thing I don't understand, Chuck. Years. We already know about this. It's on the books. Everybody knows it. It's been verified. Over 400 plus years of oil sitting up there in one oil field in
Yes,
Alaska.
we know
Years,
all
ladies and
this.
gentlemen.
Yes, but I
400
mean, this is the
years.
thing. Congress is going to have to legislate that mandate that be drilled. Okay,
Yeah. Well,
they will have
and
to,
here's the problem.
they will basically have put what in the old medieval stuff. There was something called nil obstant,
Mhm.
nothing get in the way, and basically say it is the will of Congress.
Right.
There be no litigation on this matter, and then they have to
Right. Right.
override the presidential veto.
Hmm.
I mean, this is not easy.
Which I think.
It's easy for us to say this should be done, this should be done, this should be done.
Right.
Legislation is like making sausage.
Yeah.
Don't want to know what goes in.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. There's a lot
I
of
mean, I
dilling and
spent some
dilling
time. I
and.
spent some time in politics when I was very young,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I learned enough
Hmm.
to want to get out of it.
Right. Yeah. I don't. I understand. I don't want to be. I don't want to be in politics
And
whatsoever. It's
the
the
thought,
last damn thing in the world I'd ever want to
and the
touch. I got too
thought,
much personal integrity. Sorry.
and the thought of these crazies in the Republican Party replacing the crazies in the Democrats. You know,
Yeah.
it's just looking at everybody
Yeah.
else in the world
Well.
is so much
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. My feeling was just follow the U.S. Constitution and you'll be fine. Just do that. Just follow the U.S. Constitution and it'll all work itself out. You know, but we don't even do that anymore.
No, that's
It's
that's the
just
point. I don't
incredible.
know how to do that. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this is just
It's just
but it is craziness. It really is craziness, and hi,
hmm.
I'm glad I don't have
Oh,
to
yeah.
drive very
Well,
far. Um, so I
oh,
don't.
jeez. Well,
The price of
that's
gas
another thing.
isn't killing me because I don't use that much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, exactly. I mean, restaurant and the grocery store. That's pretty much.
Basically, the grocery store and the local restaurants. I mean, that's it.
Um.
And right now we have a problem with the car battery. It's draining, and we can't find out why. So, so basically, what I do is
How was
when
the back?
I don't know, I have no idea why. It just does. And so basically, what I
How?
do is I disconnect the battery
Mhm.
after I'm done, and I put the charger on it.
Oh, okay.
And then when we're going to go again, take the charger off, hook the battery up, and we're fine to go. Um, and we're
Oh,
going,
cool. Well, do
and
you have?
my stepson is taking the car into a mechanic on Monday, and we're going to leave it there for a couple of days, and maybe he can figure it out. I don't think he's going to,
Uh-huh.
but we'll see. Anyway,
We'll see. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I mean, it's just the best case scenario is it could be the battery's a little bit old, or you could
No, we changed the battery.
that's
New battery.
they change batteries, change alternator.
We changed the
I don't know.
alternator's fine. All the fuses are fine.
Okay, so
All of the things that could
okay,
change it, charge it, discharge it rather, aren't. but
Oh,
it's
okay.
but it's draining at the rate of 4 amps, which
That's
is
not
not
good.
good.
It sounds like yeah, it's like you might as well have your headlights on. Yeah,
And no,
exactly.
I
But
mean
and that's
they aren't. I
yeah,
mean that's the problem. So I mean, uh,
yeah, and yeah, and here's the thing, Chuck. People think,
I'm wondering.
well, yeah,
I'll be
we want
honest with
everybody's
you. I'm going
yeah.
to I'm going to use the hand resonator on the car because I think it's haunted.
Well, if you're driving it,
No, I'm serious. Spirits drain batteries.
oh, okay. So you think it's sort of like a what do you call a foo thing or
Yeah,
some kind of
it's something.
some
It's
kind of
something
little
is draining that
or
battery, and
gremlin?
I'm wondering. I'm actually wondering if
Hmm.
that's the reason. So we're going to see what this mechanic comes up with, and if he doesn't come up with anything,
Okay.
I don't think he will. I am going to give that car a
Oh,
good going over with the hand beamer and see what
mhm.
happens.
Oh, fantastic. But and like I said, yeah, we kind of get back. They're trying to get us off of petroleum. Okay, all right, I get all that. And so everybody needs to have an electric car. Well,
Well,
here's the
here's the
problem,
thing.
Chuck. And
Back in what was it? I forget the last oil shock. I
uh
proposed that we do everybody replace all internal combustion engines with electricity, but we also have a grid of a nuclear reactor every 100 miles to provide it
yeah, that's the
because
problem. That's the
yeah,
problem.
that's the
Yeah,
problem.
we
The
don't have the
problem is
infrastructure.
you have to have the infrastructure to support it. I mean, where is
Yeah,
the charger? Or where I live, I suppose there are chargers, but I don't know where they are.
yeah. I think Tesla has like these little charging stations all around the
Yeah,
country or
but I
whatever.
don't know where they are.
You're in Milwaukee. Yeah, you're in
See, this
Milwaukee,
part of
so
the world,
I'm sure they could probably automatically take
well,
it.
this is not, this
Mhm.
is not like Star Haven.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly. I mean, geez.
I mean,
Would you
that's the
like to
problem.
run out of battery?
I mean,
Would you like to be cruising through
I'm all in
Chicago?
favor of electric cars. I think they're wonderful,
Yeah.
but we have
Hmm.
to have the infrastructure to support them. You don't have the
Don't
cars
have.
without, you don't build the cars first and then build the infrastructure. You have to build the infrastructure and then the cars.
Exactly. Exactly. Or at worst case, at least have the infrastructure. Maybe an ongoing process getting the thing
Yeah,
built up before you start
something to do
putting.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, but you've
Yeah.
got this gang of morons in Washington that can't change their own diapers.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez. Yeah. Some of them actually wear them. Yeah. Oh boy. I tell you, it's just incredible.
well,
I wish I had. Oh yeah, but I agree with you. I think this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing. I think
I'm
a lot of
looking
people have
forward
woken
to
up because of this
November
stuff.
because it's going to be fun to watch the Democrats jumping out of windows. I mean, it's as
Oh yeah,
simple as that. It's going to be a
oh yeah.
slaughter. I remember 1994
Hmm.
and
You know,
something. This is going to be worse.
mhm. Oh,
This is
I'm
going
gonna
to be
tell you.
worse.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Chuck. I went over by Fairfax, Virginia, back in February of 2021. Okay, they were wearing masks. It was like Biden's the greatest thing in the
Yeah,
world. All this other
yeah.
good stuff. They're doing their virtual signaling and that kind of thing. And I said, okay, all right, fine. And within 7 to 8 months, Chuck, it went from another, and that was right before Youngkin got elected. It was the devastating thing I ever saw. I mean, I was looking
That
at
was
this.
because of the schools. And that was strictly because of the
Yeah,
schools. I mean,
yeah.
the problem is for the Republicans, I'll be honest with you, if
Hmm.
the Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade,
Hmm.
those people who voted those women, those mothers who voted Republican will vote Democrat again because they don't want their daughters to be stuck without having the right to abortion.
Uh-huh. Well, I think isn't the issue it's like a
and that's
privacy
going to
issue or
and that is
something,
going
and
to
plus it's
and that will kill the
yeah,
Republicans.
yeah.
They'll
Well, I
they'll
mean,
still retake
supposedly,
Congress, but it will be
yeah,
barely.
yeah. Well, I kind of look at this as sort of a states' rights issue. It's like per state. Different states had
This
different
is why
laws
it
before
can't be a
the
states'
Rosie.
rights issue. This is why it can't
Mm,
be. Because what
mm.
you're going to get is litigious civil war.
Right, right.
It
I
has to be
understand.
national.
Uh,
It has to be national, and it can't be pro-life because that is the end of because that's the end of civil peace.
right. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely a Solomon's choice type scenario. I mean,
No, it isn't.
cutting the
It's
baby in half, no pun
cut the
intended.
baby in half and give one
Uh,
to each, give half to each of them, and get them out of here.
God.
The story of Solomon is one of the funniest things. Solomon was really the dumbest man in the Bible. He made
Well, he
Jesus
did
look
get
smart.
around.
I mean, he was dumb. Okay, he was a lousy king. I mean,
Okay.
remember they split after he died. You know,
Yeah. Well,
and what
well,
he
how did he
did,
get the
what
reputation for
happened?
being
I
the
will tell
wisest
you
man who
what
ever lived?
happened. I
Okay.
will tell you the story.
Okay.
It was Thursday. It was Thursday morning, petition day. Everybody had the right to petition the king, even a couple of harlots.
Okay.
And Solomon had had a really bad night. They had a riot in the harem. His 300 wives
Oh,
and
geez.
3,000 concubines were killing each other.
Uh,
He didn't get any sleep. He's got a headache. And it's petition day. And these two whores come in with this kid. And they tell it in the sob story. And he just says, "Oh, cut it in half, give part to each."
mhm.
This was not Solomon being wise. This was Solomon being hung over.
now, now, tell me something here. Here's what I find intriguing about this: the Solomon's Temple. The
Oh, that, yeah.
the mythology behind it was that he captures 47 demons or whatever it is, and
Oh,
they
that.
build the temple in a matter of a few days.
Right. Sure.
Okay? What's the story behind it?
Well, that story is
I
bullshit.
mean, okay, so what happened?
What happened is he brought in some architects from all
Okay,
the Phoenician cities, and they rounded up a bunch of people and built a temple.
that's it.
That's it.
No mystery.
No
No
mystery at all.
paranormal events.
There's no.
Okay,
There are really
so
no mysteries. That's the important thing to understand about that stuff.
okay, but you've used lesser keys of Solomon in a lot of your
Oh yeah, I use
radionics.
Lesser Keys of Solomon. The spirits are very powerful. They've been being used
Okay,
they've been being used for 1,500 years. That's a lot of energy in those thought forms.
right, right. And now, I'm going to tell you another story here about a customer over in Greece. But uh, yeah, I just find it fascinating. Okay, that's the thing. Supposedly he was able to harness, or had control over 47 demons, and they were, and he
Et
could use
cetera,
them
et
at
cetera,
his
et cetera.
will. I Yeah. Okay. So there's no truth to that because he had them like
I
sealed
don't think
inside of
that.
a glass.
I think it's pure legend. I don't think there's any truth to it all. But I will say this: they were using the power of Solomon, Solomon's ring, the legend of Solomon, by the third century A.D.
Hmm.
We've got
Hmm.
records of that. So I mean, it went back. I mean, the guy had a reputation. I mean, his reputation
Hmm.
had nothing to do with the reality. He was a lousy king.
Hmm.
He wrecked his kingdom. and when he died, everybody, 10 of the 12 tribes rebelled and broke off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, because he went traipsing off
Well,
after the Queen of Sheba. I mean,
well, my question is, okay, how did Solomon get the seals? Number one, how did he know? Okay, this is a certain angel. You do this, and it seems there's a lot of 6-pointed stars,
there was a
shall I
lot of
say,
things.
and a
Yeah,
lot of these,
I know,
a lot
and
of
I don't,
Jewish
I can't
image.
say how he did, how they did. The tradition started after him.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon himself certainly never did. Uh, there's no, in the biblical record, there's no business record of Solomon practicing magic. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he was a good observant Jew.
Okay, all right.
Uh, so
So he didn't get
that's
involved in the Kabbalah or
he
whatever.
didn't know, he didn't have anything to do with that. That all came later. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what he made, but because of his name and the reputation, which had nothing to do with the reality. Remember, it was the reputation. Uh, all that stuff is attributed to him.
Right.
Exactly how those spirits and their sigils came about, I have no idea.
Right.
But
Right.
you leave that to scholars who study that. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. Oh, and I tell you, the other day I was doing a Skype call with a client out of Greece, and
Okay.
he just needed to, he had a few questions or whatever,
Yeah.
and we were discussing mythology, and he made reference to Mount Olympus, several times,
Oh
and
yes.
before we even brought that up. And I told him, I said, "Hey, these gods from ancient times have they have energy around them, just as you said, they have
Oh yeah.
energy around them, thought forms. People
Absolutely.
pray to them, people sacrifice to them, whether And I told him, I said, this is part of your culture. I said, if I was you, I would use it. I would use it like a sham wow and squeeze it for everything it has. Take the thought
Absolutely.
forms of some of these ancient gods and use them in your work. Integrate them into your work." And I said, I think it'd just work out fantastic doing
I
that.
will tell you a story.
Please.
Oh, this is a bad one. This is a bad one. This is a story I've never told before. In 1983, I was going out with a young woman,
Hmm.
and her family they were annoying. I forget the story was so. And I came home, and I just, in a fit of rage, I said, "Great Jupiter, kill somebody."
Oh, Jesus.
Wait a minute, listen. There was there was no storm, there was no rain, but there was thunder. There was thunder.
Hmm.
And I knew Jupiter had heard me, and Jupiter answered me.
Hmm.
A couple days later, I get a phone call from my girlfriend.
Right.
That night, her brother had committed suicide.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well.
Because I lost my temper and
Hmm.
called out the
Hmm.
gods.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, the gods listen. The gods listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Historic
Note to self: don't
figures.
piss off Uncle Chuckie. Yeah.
Historic figures listen.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
the
that's one
pagans have
thing.
a saying. The
Yeah.
pagans have a saying. He who is
Go ahead.
remembered lives.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
problem is they don't understand the full implications of that.
Hmm.
Hitler lives.
It's obvious.
Stalin lives. And they can be called on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff out there that you don't want to think about because the implications of it are, well, there was an illustration in one of my magic books. It was from the late 19th century, and it was an evil spirit a wicked spirit casting an evil influence. And basically, it's sort of a guy on a cloud throwing a lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, and I just looked at this, and it really, what this brings home to me, Chuck, is the power of the thought form. This is where all this comes from. I think a majority of the energy that these gods, and I use little g or capital G, however you want to, whatever you want to put it,
Yep.
or however you want to put it. Where do they get their energy from? It's from people devoting their actual mental energy toward that entity,
Well,
and building on it and building on it and building
look at
on
it
it.
this way. The Virgin Mary.
Mm-hmm.
They took a 2,000-year-old street whore and turned her into a real goddess.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did not say this. It was Chuck. Okay.
That's
All
pure
right.
me. That is pure me, and I can back it up.
Mm-hmm.
There was, in fact, it's called the Hostile Gospel, and it was written. I forget, but it basically that Jesus' mother was a prostitute, his father was a Roman soldier, and
Mm-hmm.
this was actually accepted by most of the French intelligentsia in the 18th century,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is but basically they took this person and by continuing prayer and fasting and doing whatever they do,
Mm-hmm.
they have a goddess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, again, it's absolutely amazing. And I use these thought forms myself. I mean, I've even known people who have produced, I don't know, memory doesn't serve me here what the name is for it. Like, producing an actual entity, by mental energy. I think there's a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of experiments that were done on this.
absolutely.
And
I wrote
tulpa,
about it in my magic
tulpa,
course.
yeah, tulpas, creating tulpas,
How
and
to yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I thought about this. Okay, Chuck, for example, and I've discussed this on a lot of shows here, and it sounds kind of funny, but damn, this thing it works every time. It's called pump and chi, and I think for the audience here, basically all I'm doing here is left hand palm up, right hand palm down, and I do a circular motion with my right hand above my left hand. And as you do it a couple times, you'll start feeling like basically a magnetic field
Oh yeah.
inside between the hands. That's what it feels like. And then as you feel that magnetic field, you keep churning and churning, turning your hands and building that field. And as you build that field, you start projecting a thought into it or
Yeah.
a particular intent. And once you get to the point where you just kind of, when you feel like it's already cooked enough, quote unquote, already cooked enough and ready to go, you just fling it into the ether and let it
Yeah.
do its
Send it
job.
out.
And I've done stuff. Yeah, exactly. I've done things as simple as phone calls from clients, for example. Getting a parking space,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of that bitch in front of me over at the bank. I mean, it could be a million different things that you can use this for. Hell, I didn't even use it to get out of a damn speeding ticket, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
I pumped chi at the cop. Went back to check on my license, pumped chi at the cop, comes back and said, "Sir, you just slow it down. Here's your license back. Have a good day." And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even get a written warning.
I know. Yeah. Well,
It was that good.
one of the methods I use, and this is the first day I was in grad school, I came up with this. It's like a simple formula. It is my will that X, whatever X is, my will be done, and then I knocked on whatever was handy.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
Yeah. And and okay, so or people are probably saying, well, hell, if you do that, why do you need a machine? Well, you know what? I'm a little lazy, and
Yeah,
it's
machines
easier
are
for
it.
me to.
Basically, I used to say, yeah, you don't need a machine. You don't need a washing machine. You can go down to the river and beat your clothes on the rocks. You don't need a
Right,
machine for that. But, it's a lot easier if you throw them in the washing machine and let it run.
right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a tool.
the fact is there's all kinds of different levels of complexity and different, just things involved. And yeah,
Right.
sometimes you can just say, it is my will that so and so die. My will be done. Or, which I don't
Okay.
say very often anymore, frankly, at my age. I don't have, but it is my will that say I have, somebody send me $1,500. My will be done. And, yeah, that sort
Mm-hmm.
of thing. And
Right.
I get $1,500 in my PayPal account, and somebody wants to learn from me. Okay. Uh,
Right.
but then but then there are times when you need. Okay, I want to get rid of the ants in the house, so I use a radionic device for that, and
Right.
there are no more ants.
First thing I've ever
Uh,
skin, Chuck.
I don't have any
I
living
mean,
uncles, so I don't have to think about that. But
uh
basically, but yeah, simply there are levels of complexity. There are levels of, okay, this doesn't work. Let's try this.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And again, it's because all my work in radionics that I feel it's helped me with doing like things without the use of machines. Just the pump and chi as I described,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it's just like, but it's all they all work together. And another thing too, Chuck. And I don't know if you've done this before yourself, but I did a couple of experiments where I had a machine set up for basically, let's say weather, for example, just weather. I had
Good.
dealing with weather. I would look at and I would start doing the chi
Mm-hmm.
and thinking, okay, I want this machine to do X, Y, Z, and I
Mm-hmm.
would just project that energy toward that machine without physically touching it, without turning any
Yeah.
knobs,
Mm-hmm.
and damn, in 2 weeks that damn operation did not come to pass.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just and no physical touch.
No,
It's just that
no,
I am somehow or
no
another
physical touch
psychically
at all.
connected to that machine.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Oh yeah, and another too. I don't know if you noticed this, Chuck. Like when it comes to witness samples, I'm like for the new people on the block, people that haven't been years, they probably were better off just a true way instead of instead of do it now. A lot of times, Chuck, I don't even use witness samples. I don't have a target. I don't have any kind of sigils stuff. All I have in my mind when I is the outcome of what it is I want to happen by turning on this machine and tuning it. What is the end results that I'm looking for? And that's all I think about as I tune that
That's all
machine.
you have to.
That's it.
Actually, it really is all you have to do.
hmm Yeah,
You know,
and that just proves the
the
power of the
truth
mind.
is, particularly in radionics, people overcomplicate. They overcomplicate.
Yeah,
You just this,
eh,
the simpler it is, the more effective it is.
exactly. And The most complicated machine I have is the Magna Wave, the Caspro or Case Pro Magna Wave, and
Calpro.
that thing was built. Oh yeah, I know. I love bringing that up because I know. Oh, I
Because
know
you
it
know it
makes you
makes me
so
jealous.
jealous whenever I mention that machine. Yes, exactly, exactly. That machine right there. It's got a thing, for lights. It used to have like these colored, look like Christmas tree lights, what have
Oh
you.
yeah,
And for different light, it had different things for tuning, four
different
different rows and
settings.
knobs. Each one of them was supposed to work. Oh, exactly. It had like a million different things. And I mean, I love that machine. It's fantastic. I appreciate it. I look at it as a number one. I mean, really, the craftsmanship is incredible. The way they did things back then. Nowadays, uh,
Yeah,
the thing about they just put too much into it. They didn't have to do what they did. They just, I think that, like you said, they overcomplicated things where it could have been a whole lot simpler.
yeah, they did because it's that was what they knew. That was the early days of
Mm-hmm.
radio. So that when they
Mm-hmm.
built that machine, they were thinking really in a modified radio,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so you would get something
I mean,
like that.
when
And
Abrams got his
these are
start, I
beautiful
mean,
instruments. They're beautiful instruments, and they
oh
worked.
yeah, worked.
And the thing is, the wiring in them is old, and if you get one, don't plug it in
Mm-hmm.
because you will burn your house down. But and that is the truth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I knew a guy who
Oh
repaired
yeah.
these. I knew a guy who actually repaired them because there was a radiac practitioner in the Theosophical Society, and this guy repaired his equipment. And he said every time he opened one of those things up, he was terrified that there was going to be a fire.
Oh
I
geez.
mean,
Tell me
that
about it.
that old wiring just is not that good.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I want to tell you,
and,
Chuck.
and
Oh,
since
this Magna
you
Wave.
don't need to plug them in. You don't
Uh,
need to plug them in.
mine's not.
No, you don't have to. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
And
that's the thing I always say if somebody's getting one of these antique devices, don't plug it in.
do not plug it in. No,
Do
ma'am.
not plug it
No,
into the
sir.
wall.
Do
You
not
will
do it.
burn your house down.
Exactly. And this one, I kind of chuckled at it when I looked in the back because basically, yeah, you plug into an AC current. It ran off of AC current, but what that
Yeah.
AC current was doing was turning a motor, which in turn was producing DC current, which is what the machine operated on was DC. Apparently, they didn't have transformers, AC, DC
No, they
transformers,
didn't.
or they were very expensive at
My
the
my
time that this
mother
machine was produced.
my mother inherited a sewing machine from my grandmother, and that had a
Okay.
switch. That had a switch to run from either AC or DC. It was that old.
Okay.
I mean,
Hmm.
that was that was that period. Um,
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, but again, beautiful. I mean, that's one of my most treasured possessions.
oh
I have
yes,
that thing operating. I have it operating just on me because it's just one of those things where I'm having the thing. I have this machine constantly working on my behalf to keep me out of trouble, and so I can continue to make wonderful machines for all the wonderful people around the world. And so yeah, that's just one of the things that I have to do personally. That's part of my little regiment here to keep my ass out of the fire.
yes.
And I'm going, but it's just really it's really fantastic what the work that you and I have done over the years, and we're what we were able to do for the world, and
Mhm.
I got to say it's just been enjoyable. But what we're going to do here, Chuck, I think we're probably going to. I think we've been on the air for what about an hour,
59
15
minutes and
minutes
21
maybe.
seconds.
Oh, okay. 59 minutes, 21 seconds. All right. So what we'll do is if you want to, I would really like to get with you next time. And what we're going to try to do is just kind of chronicle your life and have like a record here for, people to refer to. Because, you talk about, you have like little stories from your childhood, from,
Uh-huh.
when you first got into radionics. Yeah, they're all over the place, and what I
Uh-huh.
want to do is just kind of put like one-stop shopping here for for the public, and kind of put it in an archive where people can find out, okay, what was going through the mind of this crazy mad scientist up there in Wisconsin, when he what was he thinking when he wrote all this stuff. And I want to get that out there to the public, because
Actually, I wrote that stuff down in Illinois, but yeah, um, yeah, it was, yeah, my life has been
yeah.
interesting,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
not a little scandalous, not a
Oh
little
yeah. Well,
scandalous.
yeah. Well, Dr. Liz, she's a good friend of mine. We do a show together also, and
Yes,
I'm going to tell you, she has every one of your books on her phone.
well, she
Every
should,
one of your books. Oh yeah, exactly.
as is right and proper.
Oh yeah, she just thinks you're fantastic, and she wants to interview you too. And I'm going to throw that in the mix here in the future, if you don't mind,
She
because she wants
certainly
to sit
can.
down and
She
oh yeah,
can. Oh
she
yeah,
just oh, she thinks you're fantastic. She thinks you're funny as hell, Chuck. She
I
really
am.
does. Well, no shit, you really are. You really are funny, and that's just part of your charm.
I know it
But
is. Believe me, it's a damn good thing I'm funny, because if people took me seriously, there would be a mob out in front of the place, and I would have to use the hand wrestling with each hand to, chase them
well,
off.
that comment you made at the beginning of the show, you probably already set that in motion. But no, I don't think
No,
anything's
no,
going to
it
happen,
doesn't
Chuck.
happen because, frankly, well, it's really hard to find me. And
Yeah. And once you
as you
do,
found out,
you're
it's
going
hard
to
to find
regret
me.
it.
Uh,
No, well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you really have to know where he's at in order to find him. I know this from firsthand experience,
yes.
and
If
so,
I
but
had been
no,
standing
it's
out there, you'd still be driving around looking. Yes.
uh, I was like, what the hell? Where it's like, but anyway, that place is a little
I
confusing
live in a
to kind of get
labyrinth.
around there
It's
a
as
little.
simple as that. I live in the center of a
Uh,
labyrinth. And
I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's a giant maze.
it is
Let's
a
put it that
giant
way.
maze, and I am the Minotaur.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway,
Straight from the
but
shoulder, I think like a soldier. I know what's right and what's wrong. He knows what's right and what's wrong. I'm the original discriminating Buffalo Man, and I'll do what is wrong as long as I can. Yes,
oh
that's the
God.
Minotaur song. It was recorded by something called the Original String Band back in 1970 or something.
Oh, oh well. I'm sure that
Yes.
was a top 40 hit. Anyway,
Actually, it was at
but
the time, I believe. It was,
okay. Was that right below "Knock Three Times" by Tony Orlando and Dawn? Was that up in
No,
that?
it was something different, but it was it was an English group, and but they
Oh,
had some interesting stuff, and they had that song, and that song truly appealed to me back then, and
oh,
it still
Jesus.
does.
Oh yeah, and one song that I never could figure out why it was a hit, but I mean it was kind of catchy. It was Henry VIII. Henry VIII, I am. I was
Oh
married to the
yes,
girl
yeah.
next door who's
I
been
believe
married
I
7 times.
What the hell?
Yeah, and everyone's a Henry, not a Willie or a Sam. Eighth old man, I'm Henry. Henry VIII, I am. Second verse, same as the first. And that's the entire song.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was
That's
like, what
craziness.
the?
Uh,
God.
I think it was because it was funny.
Oh, oh yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh yeah, I think the first funny song I heard on TV or on radio was the Streak. And back when the early '70s, when that was really popular, people would take off their clothes and start
I
running on
remember it. Yes,
baseball
I
fields.
remember seeing it.
Uh,
Yes, I
that's
remember seeing it.
sad.
Yes, I never did it, but I remember seeing it. Yes.
Some of these people would have been better off just keeping their clothes on and just
That well,
you know.
the ones that were doing it when I was in grad school, they were young and they were attractive, and so it was not a big deal.
Okay. So
The
a lot
ones
of
who were doing
females.
anyplace else, I don't know. I didn't see them, and I'm glad I didn't.
Oh God. Uh, so there's a lot of females doing this, Chuck.
Yes,
Back then, Okay, all right.
Yes.
I can see where you could
Yeah,
find a lot of
they were
joy and
walking around
satisfaction.
going around the campus, and yes, yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just really fantastic.
The Lord wasn't ashamed
Oh
to make them,
man.
and I'm not ashamed to look at them. Ah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Women are they are different from men. I have to admit there's a unique difference. I don't care
yes,
what
that's
anybody
true.
says. It
That's true. They
you
are
know
different.
if you yeah if you were to put me in front of a
They
bunch
are
of senators, I would
different.
be able to tell them the difference. I
Yes.
would be able to do it. I could under oath. So, but anyway, on that note, sir, it's been one heck of a show. I'm glad to get back here on the air with you. And I guess we're going to be uploading this on your channel and my channel, both
Yes.
the Uncle Chuckie. Uh, what is your YouTube channel for the audience, please, sir?
It's Charles Casa. It's Charles Casamano, I believe, or something like that.
Or Uncle Chuckie, Charles Casamano, whatever. Put those keywords in
It's
there.
not Uncle
They'll
Chuckie.
find.
I know that, but it's Charles Casamano, I believe. Yeah.
Uh, well,
It's
if they
been
get
so
on there,
it's been so long since I've done anything. 9 months since I've done anything with it. I don't really remember the name. Ah, I'll have
oh
to
yeah,
look at it.
yeah, yeah.
When I have
Well,
moments, I'll have to
you
look
know,
at it.
yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, what I want to again, I just want to be able to chronicle, your life here for the audience, and
Well,
I just felt like it's a great
I will be
opportunity to do
honest
it.
with you. I will be honest with you. If you really
Go ahead.
want a chronicle of my life, prepare to be thoroughly shocked and thoroughly scandalized.
Don't
And I,
care.
they,
Sounds
seriously,
like fun.
this is not, I'm not joking. I mean, uh, I have been involved in some things that, well, I look back at it and I go, how the hell did I get away with that?
I like it. This sounds like great.
I
This
didn't.
is great.
I,
That's what the audience wants. I mean, this is we want to hear about it.
okay,
The good side, the
they
bad
want to
side,
hear
the
about
whole nine
it. I mean,
yards.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to this. I really am. And it's just I'm glad that you and I were able to get together like this, Chuck. I mean, it really is, and you know, I'm just I really am. I'm proud to call you my friend, and I'm glad that I got to meet the one and only Charles Casamano in person on one of the coldest days I've ever spent in my entire life.
it was
Wisconsin.
a warm
Oh
day. My
God,
God, it was 10 degrees out. You'd think it
dude,
was
it's
like
H freeze.
below.
Oh my God. And again, it was definitely a shock for me how cold it is up there. But that's beside the point. No, but yeah, but anyway, Chuck, it's just you're really I'm just glad that you and I were we're just been able to do some really fantastic things together, and I really enjoyed the friendship and the fact that all the accomplishments, and it's just a pleasure to know you, and I just want everybody to know that this Chuck really is, and I know he hates it for me to say it, but he really is a good guy, and but yeah, he does some badass shit, but he's a good guy. He really is. All right, my friend. Well, anyway, on
Okay,
that note, if it's all right with you, I think we should call it a night, and uh, we'll go ahead and I guess do another show next week. What do you think?
okay.
All right, let's do it. All right, sir. Well, on that note, you
Night,
have a
night.
good evening.
You too?
All right, night, night.